Thank you, Phyllis. Whether you're physically present here with us today or are joining us through the magic of technology, I'd like to welcome everyone to Unity of Bloomington. My name is James Kerr, and I'll be your service leader today. If you don't recognize me, I don't blame you. If you were to tell me a year ago that I'd be standing up here fulfilling this specific role, I would have told you were crazy. Because truly, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen a year from now. We don't know what's going to happen 2 months from now. And we don't know what's going to happen 3 days from now. And in light of all that is unknown, it's really important that we're grateful for the dirt beneath our feet and the people standing next to us. And now I'd like to invite the congregation to join me in speaking our heart of gratitude affirmation. With hearts full of gratitude, we joyously count our blessings, embracing every high and low as part of our divine journey. We know deep within that all things are working together for our highest good. In thankfulness, we trust the unfolding of life's gifts, recognizing that every experience brings us closer to spiritual wholeness. Now I'd like to invite you all to stand, if comfortable, and sing, "My Soul is Welcome Here."
I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Now, Dan, stand back up. Namaste time. I'm just teasing. Dan saved my life yesterday. Our washing machine's not working at the house where we're at. And I called Dan, "Can I please come to your house?" And he welcomed me with open arms. So I'm not stinky today, thanks to Dan. And this is our Namaste moment, so welcome to everyone. How wonderful to be in this place. November, we're headed into Thanksgiving, and then the holidays. So this is a good time to remember your soul, the essence of who you are, all that you are, anything that you are, is welcome in this sacred space. You are welcome here. You are honored here. You are wanted here. And what wonderful news. And so we're going to do our Namaste greeting, seeing the God, the goodness, and the clean clothes in everyone today. And so hands together at our heart, for that is where we all connect eternally and lovingly. You are free to move about the cabin. Namaste.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborhood day in this beautiful day.
You are a sight for...
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you, so let's make the most of this beautiful day. Beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Would you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor?
Oh, sorry. The crashing. At the end, I can't get to the back of the church.
Very good.
This is...
It's called quick on your feet.
Just so much love and hugginess in this space. How wonderful. So let's bring that namaste energy. Last week, if you remember, I asked you to pray for Melanie Roby and her family. Melanie was having some challenges in the hospital, and so our prayer for her to be healed, whole, and healthy was answered, and she has now stepped back into eternity. She is with the ancestors watching over us. That's a nice way to say that she passed away. And I'm sad. But I'm grateful that she went with the love of this community, surrounding her, supporting her, enveloping her. We ushered her back, as Reverend Beckwith says, as she danced off this mortal coil. We were the music and the wind beneath her wings. Still doesn't make it easier for me because I'm used to seeing this gorgeous person right here. And so let's just take a moment to hug ourselves. And then let's hold Terry, her wife, in our arms. Terry, I know you're watching right now. This church, this center, this sacred and holy place is embracing you in a love that will never die, in a love that is healing and hopeful. And so we hold ourselves during this prayer, stating what we know is true. Our soul is welcome here, and all is well. And so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm Gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 I'm so grateful.
Today's inspirational reading comes from the 40-day Mind Fast Soul Feast by Reverend Michael Beckwith. Today, I invite you to begin developing a consistent practice of what I call the yoga of gratitude. When you think of yoga, commonly what comes to mind are the various yoga postures. The yoga of gratitude is very much like a yogic stretch. As you develop the inner practice of gratitude, you will not only realize that it is a natural quality of your soul, you will also notice more and more things for which to be grateful. Taking a mental posture of being equally grateful for the challenges, as you are the blessings in your life, results in spiritual maturity. The more you include unconditional gratitude in your spiritual practice, the line blurs between blessings and challenges. They are understood to be gifts equal to your spiritual progress. Today, luxuriate yourself with several long, slow yogic breaths. Let go and surrender into gracious gratitude. Breathe in again and step out of time and space into the eternal moment of now. This cosmic breath is breathed into you by your spirit. Be grateful.
I am so grateful for this life I have to live. Oh, and I am so grateful for all I have to give. For I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. I am so grateful, for I know my path is blessed, way and love, so full and grateful, I can trust in every step, for I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. With a life overflowing and a heart full of love.
So a man was driving home late one afternoon, and he was driving above the speed limit. He notices a police car with its red lights on in his rearview mirror. He thinks, I can outrun this guy. So he floors it, and the race is on. The cars are racing down the highway, 60, 70, 80, 90. His speedometer finally passes 100, and the guy's like, I can't outrun the cop. I give up. He pulls over to the curb. The police officer gets out of his cruiser, and he approaches the car. He leans down and says, listen, mister, I've had a real lousy day, and I just want to go home. Give me a good excuse, and I'll let you go. The man thought for a moment, and then he said, 3 weeks ago, my wife ran off with a police officer. When I saw you in your cruiser in my rearview mirror, I thought you were that officer, and you were trying to give her back to me. Yeah, y'all weren't expecting that ending, huh? All right, so my message title today is Grateful for It All. We're going to talk about being grateful for it all. And then my focus text today comes from the New Testament, 1 Thessalonians 5:18, which is give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. So to give thanks in all circumstances. And that's what we're going to talk about. Our theme this month is a heart of gratitude. We are in Thanksgiving month, and to really invite us to make gratitude and thankfulness not just something we do on the fourth Thursday in November, but that it is a way that we live, our consciousness and our way of being. And so I want to talk about 3 things today. Gratitude as alignment with the divine mind, gratitude as a spiritual practice, and gratitude and the law of reciprocity. So gratitude in alignment with divine mind. So this is part of what we talked about, or my ending message last week, that letting go and letting God is about being in alignment with your divine mind, and that when you operate from that place, you then see things from a different perspective. And that alignment with divine mind is a foundational thought for unity. Charles Fillmore, one of the founders of Unity, says divine mind is the one and only reality. So when we can move and groove and have our being in that knowing, in that alignment, we can look at experiences from a higher and from a spiritual perspective. And this is, of course, is a part of spiritual maturity, about spiritual development. And the foundation of that perspective is this verse, again from the New Testament. All things work together for good. All circumstances in your life and my life are working together for our highest good, for our higher, our greater yet to be. And so that can be a hard stance in the midst of a hard circumstance. Right? So I'm not saying this is simple, but this is a part of spiritual discipline, spiritual growth, that gratitude and this understanding that when I'm in alignment with divine mind, even an awful circumstance has the possibility and will eventually be for the highest good of us and our individual circumstances. So I want to share a story about this. It's going to involve political things, but it's not a political statement, okay? This is about something that happened to me, and I want to share it, but it has political people involved. All right? We all good with that? So I used to work at a beautiful hospital called Cedars-Sinai. It is an amazing hospital in Los Angeles, and I worked in the development department, in the money department. So Cedars-Sinai, in LA, on the Wilshire Corridor, could not be in a more blue, liberal spot in Los Angeles if it wanted to. So in 2020, when Donald Trump was elected president, and I went to work the next day, people were crying. in their offices at work. It was like a morgue in there. People were so unhappy about it. Now, I'm not going to say I was happy about it. One of the things is I wanted a woman president. I wanted to finally break that glass ceiling. And so I was already just devastated about that. But something very interesting happened during his presidency. That people who felt that being what I would describe as bigoted or prejudiced or racist, again, this is my opinion and my experience, felt free to do that. And so all of a sudden, it was just, I think about my friend's cousin, lynched in public. George Floyd is a friend of my friend's cousin. On national news, we watched this man get lynched. Breonna Taylor just shot up in her house. Protests, Black Lives Matters. I lived in Memphis at the time, and they were having a drag show. 2 drag things as part of Pride. So one was drag queens were going to be reading at Mosh, which is an amazing museum there. Well, the Proud Boys came to that event and surrounded the museum with their rifles drawn. Now, this is where kids were coming. And in the end, I am grateful for Donald Trump's presidency, because the very things that black folks have been saying, you can get arrested while driving black, you can get arrested while walking black, you can get arrested while being in the store as black. All of a sudden, people are like, oh my Lord, look, that is actually happening, right? The Me Too movement, that all of a sudden women came out and started talking about stuff. I mean, I had an experience here where my boss came charging across the room at me, and I didn't know what to do. So I did what my family told me, and I stood my ground. I was, but he was drunk, but I didn't know it at the time until he got up on me, right? But I mean, this sort of behavior, all this stuff came out, and we started talking about it. That is the result of his presidency, and that is a good thing, because we began to heal. We began to say, this is not right. Where can I have love? Where can we be more loving? And so even that circumstance is working together for our good. It's not easy. But again, if we can step into that alignment with divine mind, and that understanding that all things work together for good, we can move forward and have a gratitude consciousness. So again, that alignment with divine mind. What are you thinking? There is no separation in divine mind, therefore I cannot be separated from the love and the companionship, which is mine by divine right, having an understanding. Now, let me say it again. I know this is not easy. And I was in seminary, I was studying, I sent Lily away to spend the weekend with my mom, my sister, and my niece. Literally, I was like over these books, just studying. I'm in my apartment, I hear beep, beep. I'm like, why is my mom's horn in the, I look in the parking lot, because my sister's waving. Here she comes with Raven and Lily, and I'm like, what? I sent her away, I'm studying. Right, so here she comes, and my sister's all smiles. I'm like, what is going on with her? So I'm like, oh, let me tell you, I'm going to be for real, for real. So I said, I see the 3 stooges are here, you, Lily, and Raven. Where is the 4th stooge? Where is Mom? And then Lily and her 4-year-old voice says, oh, Granny's in the hospital. She had a heart attack. Well, you can imagine my response. Why? Because I had all these plans for my mother. She was going to attend my seminary graduation. Now, I just told you Lily was 4, right? She was going to attend Lily's high school graduation, Lily's wedding, of course. All these plans that, how dare she have a heart attack? I cried, and I cried, and I cried. And people stood in the gap for me. They told me, the doctor called me and said, your mother's heart is damaged so bad we don't know what to do. And I left my job that day. I worked at the seminary. And I asked them, will you please send out a prayer request? Well, as you know, my mother's still alive. That happened when she was 60. She's 88 now. But when I got back to work, I saw an email that said, please pray. My government name, Villa, is going to the hospital. Her mother had a heart attack, and they said her heart's damaged so bad, they don't know what to do. So let us pray that God either heal her heart, or if it's too bad, God give her a new one. And by the time I got there, there was nothing wrong with my mother, and I took her home that day. Because someone had the faith to say, this is going to work out for a higher good, and we're going to believe something crazy. All right? That's that faith that in the midst of this circumstance, I can look back now and see the benefits of that. But as we mature and stand forward, because there's people around us falling apart, and either we're going to fall apart with them, or we're going to lay the space for them to stand on a foundation of faith and of being in alignment with divine mind. So let's talk about gratitude as a spiritual practice. Heart of gratitude is our theme, and what is in our heart is how you be. Right? That you can be all smiles and stuff, and then when the circumstances change, then you got a sailor mouth, right? I shouldn't say that because I have a sailor mouth all the time, right? But all of a sudden, as you know, my daughter Lily is very tall, and she's been that way since she was in the 6th grade, 6 foot in the 6th grade. And so there was this girl there who just was horrible to her, kept pestering her, and she was like, I'm getting ready to show her something. I said, please do not. Right? I said, because all people are going to see is this huge black kid hurting this small little white girl, and she was so petite and little. Well, one day we were in the store, and this little girl comes up, she's like, hi, Lily. And tells her mom, this is Lily's mom. So, in my maturity, I said, well, nice to meet you, and glad to see you. And I just kept walking. It's like, no. Because Lily's trying to show you something. I know you don't want to see it from me, right? So that's where I was at that moment, because in my heart, I was angry, and you were hurting my child. And if I said something, it wasn't going to be nice to meet you, right? And so this is that maturity. It's how you get into who you are. It's a process of developing. So Lily had to learn. It was a character lesson for her and a character lesson for me. Character is who you are under pressure, not when everything is fine. Who you are under pressure is who you are. And so under pressure, can there be a heart of gratitude? Doesn't mean in the situation you like what's happening, but that you're able to control the spin, because in your heart, you know, I know, we know that all things are working together for our good, and that foundation of this too shall pass. Who you are under pressure is who you are. Can we in that time step back and take a breath? Can we under pressure remember our divinity? Can we step into alignment, or get ourselves realigned? Or in that pressured moment, do we choose to align with mass consciousness, those old patterns? Do they just come back and we're like Godzilla, just on the loose in Tokyo? What is one way to demonstrate when we are aligned? That step back. That moment. You can fall apart, but at least before the falling apart, you had the element to bring yourself together. So even when you fell apart in an aligned way, in a way that was incongruent with your faith. I'm not saying don't fall apart, but can you, now I'm a hot mess, right? And then go there. But spiritual practice is also what comes out of our mouth. If you want to know what a person really is about, listen to what they say. Maya Angelou said, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. So oftentimes people can be more in control of how they're acting, but their mouth is going to give them away. That understanding that you and I are what we speak. The words we speak become the house we live in. So what is the house that we live in? The house of complaints, woe is me. I told you that when Gail went to the doctors and they said, hey, your myeloma's come back, and so we're going to get a plan. She didn't want me to go because, I don't know, she thinks I get all defensive and I'm going to ask the doctor 28 questions and he better be prepared to answer them. I'm not like that at all. It's probably just 20 questions. Right? So she asked me to stay at home, and then we sat down and she told me, and when she got done, I looked at her and I said, all is well. And she responded, all is well. That is the foundation for moving forward. No, was it good news? No. I'm like, are you ever going to do any housework? You're just going to keep using this, I'm sick, I can't do this. I'm like, no. Poor Gail. But I have said this before. Think about the situation you thought you could never get over. I'm never going to recover from this. This is the worst thing that happened to me in my life. And yet today, that very circumstance was a blessing. Be grateful for all the obstacles in your life. They have strengthened you as you continue with your journey. Many of you don't know, when Lily was young, I lost custody of her. Like, oh my God, did you know? I had a man that I was living with, and Lily told me that morning that he had attempted to do something inappropriate with her. And I was devastated. And I was fearful. And I was going to control the situation. All of those not the right steps. Because Lily also told my mother, who was a preschooler. I had a plan to get it together, right? You know me. I had a plan. But she told my mother, who's a preschool teacher, my mother, as a preschool teacher, is a mandatory reporter. And so she had to call the police. And because I didn't call the police when Lily very first told me that, because I was trying to figure it out, my mother had custody of Lily. And that was awful for me. I was failing. My whole family knew that I had done something really dumb. That this man I had trusted and brought into my home had attempted to harm my daughter, to rob her of her innocence. Today I'm grateful. It brought me and my mother closer together. It brought me and Lily closer together, and it healed some aspects of our relationship. Do I wish it had happened in a different way? Yes. But that obstacle helped us all. And so again, in our circumstances, we have the power to speak life or death. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Again, the power of what we speak. You know, they say make sure when you say I am is your affirmation, or what you say after that. Right? The power of our words. When Lily was a little girl, someone asked her to say this poem, and she didn't know it because I had decided I was never going to teach it to her because I found it to be very untrue. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. That is an outright lie. There are times I would have rather been hit with a bat than the words that were spoken. Those words hurt me. They destroyed me at that moment. They robbed me of hope and life. So she never knew that because I never taught her that, because to me that was just bunk. It was a lie. Words do hurt. But words can also empower. Words can heal. Words can uplift. And so when we have the capacity in a circumstance, like there's a lady at the grocery store that always complains to me while she checks me out. Oh, the prices are so high. And I'm just thinking, you work at the store, you get a discount. I'm not even sure what is going on here. But I always retort, well, you know, the prices of these eggs are really high. I say, yeah, but you know, it's a worthwhile investment in my health. Yeah. And then she'll, right, that I come back with the I'm not going to go to a farm and get me these eggs. So yeah, whatever it costs because someone brought them to the grocery store for me, thank you. But again, in that circumstance, I have the capacity where she wants to bring a negative thing. We have the capacity to respond with life. All right, my last point. Because part of what we speak is the law of reciprocity. We are sowing seeds out of our mouths. And so what goes around comes around, the law of reciprocity. What you give comes back to you multiplied. This is Luke 6:38. Given it shall be given unto you, pressed down. You know that whole verse. I can't read my little thing here and the thing in the back, so let me turn around and look at here. Your gift will return to you full, pressed down, shaken together to make room for more, running over and poured into your lap. The amount that you give will determine the amount you get back. Now this, of course, is a preacher's favorite verse so make sure that you give generously to the church, right? And we will talk about that in 2025 when it's our year of prosperity. But what you give, what comes out of your mouth, you're sowing seeds. I'm sowing seeds. It will come back to us. Right? That's the law of reciprocity. That's just a spiritual law, whether you're in unity, new thought, or whatever you believe. Right? That's a law. And so if we are able to sow from a heart of gratitude, then we will reap things to be grateful for. Our consciousness creates and attracts our life's circumstances. We are a magnet. This quote from Iyanla Vanzant, gratitude is like a magnet. The more grateful you are, the more you will receive to be grateful for. So people say, well, I'm not trying to be grateful to receive. Okay, fine. It's the law. And you do know that when you plant one seed for an apple tree, it doesn't just grow for an apple, right? It grows a tree full. And so as we pour out in gratitude, as we pour out in our faith, as we pour out in, this circumstance sucks right now and I don't like it, but I am standing in alignment with my divine self that this too will work out for my greater circumstance. Now I'm going to fall back apart. As we sow from that place, we become transformative presence. We begin to draw to us the very things we want and deserve. Gratitude is a consciousness, a way of being, a thinking. It's a mindset that aligns us with the divine mind. And I'm encouraging each one of us to invest in having an attitude of gratitude. Now, if you have a teenage daughter or had a teenager or are the teacher of teenagers, no offense to the teenagers we have in here today, but you know they can have an attitude. Last week, Louise was complimenting me on the shoes that I was wearing that day, so I was out there in the lobby just posing. And then Lily's like, that's enough posing. Right? Kids got an attitude. But we can all have an attitude of gratitude. I know the holidays can be a hard time. You don't want to go see this relative or that relative. But you can go into that place. Say you're only going to stay for 10 minutes. Get in, hug who you want, get the cake, macaroni, cheese, or whatever you want out of there. Take your container so you're good to go. Have an attitude of gratitude. In a world full of Debbie Downers, we here at Unity, we're happy. Not in a fake, bypassy spiritual like the crayons, la, 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 right? But it is our attitude, it is our consciousness, it is our choice and our way of being. We live in harmony with the flow of universal abundance. And abundance isn't just money. We want to have an abundance of loving relationships, an abundance of peace of mind, excellent health, and then, yeah, bring me some money too. But it begins with an attitude of gratitude. I close with this quote by Melody Beatty. Gratitude makes sense of our past, that we can be grateful for the challenges. Brings peace for today, that where we are, I am grateful. And it creates a vision for tomorrow, knowing that as we stand on this foundation of faith, in alignment with our divine mind, proclaiming life as we speak, that the future before us, all is well. And so it is. As we step into this sacred time, I invite you all to make that a true statement, that my heart is open. In a world where there are people who the very things we complain about would take those in a moment, that let us open our hearts to the good that surrounds us, to the healing that wants to enter, to new ways of being, to being bold and living our life as a shining light. Let us open our hearts and be grateful. Just take a breath in and out. Let's breathe in again and out. And then one last time. Let's breathe in and out. And in this moment, where can your heart be more open? Where is the place that you won't look because there's a big wound there? But if you open the door, the light of healing, the divine light can come and heal, renew, restore. So as we go into the silence, let us all, with hearts full of gratitude, open our hearts to more of all that is.
Okay, I'd like to invite Sierra to come up and talk about our mystic of the month.
Good morning, everybody. I chose Sophie Strand for Mystic of November because when I started waking up on my spiritual journey 2 years ago, she was the first teacher who came into my life who spoke to the divine being in everything. She is a writer primarily who lives in New York, and her background is studies in religion at the intersection of ecology. So I'd like to read a little bit from one of her books, specifically about Joseph. In Genesis, Joseph is the youngest and favored son of Rachel and Jacob. Like his famous father, he is prone to visions and mysticism. Unfortunately, he makes the mistake of open-heartedly sharing his initiations with his older brothers, men he considered his kin and intimate friends, but they end up throwing him into a pit and selling him into slavery. Eventually, Joseph lands in Egypt, where, through his intuitive prowess, he becomes the king's vizier. Here we see a man who, like Dionysus, does not conform to rigid gender roles. Genesis tells us again and again that Joseph weeps. He dreams. He wears a brightly colored ornamental cloak. And most damningly, he channels the dreams of plants, wheat in particular. Joseph's superpower is his sensitivity to the vegetal imaginal realm. This is what eventually sets off his spiteful brothers. Joseph shares with them a dream in which he witnessed sheaves of wheat bowing down before him. His brothers view this dream as prideful. Who is Joseph to think he can have prophetic dreams? Who is he to think he can receive dreams from plants or from God? But what if Joseph's dream had less to do with hierarchical structures and more to do with ecological initiation? What if the wheat was bowing before Joseph in his dream as a symbol of vegetal vocation? Joseph is being invited into his dreaming role as the intermediary between plants and people. In Genesis, Joseph provides a mouthpiece for the wisdom of the wheat. Sometimes God is a plant that uses men to dream.
Thank you, Sierra. We prepare now to show our gratitude for what we continue to receive. There are several ways to contribute to Unity of Bloomington. Checks or cash are always welcome. Or you can give the text to give button on the screen or the donate button on the website. As the offering bags are passed, you may want to bless the bags and their contents. If you are new to us, please fill out one of the blue visitor forms in the pocket of the chair in front of you with your first impressions. Prayer request forms are also available in the pocket. Both of these forms may be dropped into the offering bag as it is passed. Greeters, please come forward, and I'd like to invite the congregation in speaking our abundance affirmation. I am an abundant being in an abundant universe. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and I now attract the best in every experience.
Surprise you what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count
Now everyone, join me in speaking our offering blessing. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. Okay, time for announcements, and Minnassa has our first announcement.
Our first announcement, I think, Maddie, will you go down and get the kids? Yeah. We are getting ready to receive James and his family into membership, but the kids aren't here. So let's do the other announcements while they're on their way.
I can do that.
All right.
Next Sunday is our Soup Sunday. If you haven't signed up to bring soup, bread, salad, or dessert, please do so. The sign-up sheet is on the back table. We also will have information available about becoming a formal member of Unity of Bloomington. Internationally renowned Melanie Demore will be with us in 2 weeks on Sunday. Yeah. Very exciting. On Sunday, November 17th, she will join our Unity Choir for the musical inspiration during the service. And then from 12 to 1 in the afternoon, she will lead a community sing that is being advertised to the public. Love offerings will be accepted with a suggested donation of $10 to $20. Plan to attend and invite your friends. If you plan to sing with the choir when Melanie Demore is here on the 17th, please come to choir practice the next 2 Saturdays from 10:30 to 11:45. Everyone is welcome. You don't have to have any musical experience. You don't have to read music. See Phyllis if you have any questions. It's right over there. Cool. And now Mary Ellen is going to come up and talk about interplay.
Let's all take a breath and let it out with a sigh. Give your body a little shake in your chair. Shake out your voice if you like. So I'm Mary Ellen. You're all invited to play this Wednesday at 1 o'clock right here in this space. We move the chairs aside. And I think it's divine timing that our play date happens the day after the election. So if you feel like I do and you're like, it's a good time to come. We're going to move. We'll breathe. We'll tell little stories about stuff happening in our lives. We'll shake. We will take time to have stillness. It's a lovely time. These are our birthright practices of movement, storytelling, making sounds, having stillness. Everyone can do these things, and they feel wonderful. And we're going to specifically be playing with a community practice this week. I'll read this to you. The practice is, we welcome and respect all stories, dances, and songs equally. We show up in our truth, open to hearing others' truth, and we hold that multiple truths can exist alongside one another. We celebrate our uniqueness and diversity of experience. We honor that other stories are not ours to tell. We can ask that our particular stories be held in confidence when we choose. We welcome and respect all stories, dances, and songs equally. So please feel invited this Wednesday at 1 o'clock right here.
All right. And now Leanne is going to come up and talk to us about the morning inspirational call.
I have a big voice, so I don't need that. First of all, I want to say, I didn't get permission, but I'm going to say it. This whole thing about attitudes and gratitudes. Number one, I am so very thankful. A lot of things, but 2 things this morning. The first one I want to say is when I was sitting there by Randy, this congregation, I am so grateful that you all enter in my life. And then Randy just reiterated that as I was sitting there and I was thinking, and then this warm hand touched my shoulder. And I thought, that is love. That's your love. Thank you. That came out of nowhere. And one of the super, super, super grateful for this place, because I have a place that I can reach out to when I need to. And some of you may know I'm the interim principal at WRB. That used to be my home. That used to be where I was until I retired, and we tricked me back. They don't have a principal right now, so I'm filling in. And we're a small school, 210 students, 9 through 12. And we have been hit so hard in the last 2 weeks. One of my junior girls, her mother just dropped dead. One of my senior girls, her stepfather, murdered her mother and her stepbrother. This was all in the last 2 weeks. And this week I was in Florida for a few days. I got a call on Thursday morning. As soon as I looked down and see my police officer's phone number pop up, I'm like, he said, Leanne, bad. He said one of my juniors was killed Thursday morning, head-on collision. And it's just, there's a lot, that's a lot in a small little school in a 2-week period. And I just know y'all in your meditation, or your prayers, or whatever, if you just lift up WRB this week, we need to get over the hump. Okay? So, and again, my gratefulness is that I have the opportunity to stand before you and ask you for those prayers and those thoughts. But really what I'm up here for, every Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock sharp, it's such a simple thing. You call this little number, in my phone it says inspiration, and you'll hear very familiar voices, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and then Minnassa comes on. She says, I want to meet you all, and then the most divine thing happens. You get to start your day out, which is short. Sometimes it's 3 minutes, sometimes it's 5 minutes. Sometimes it may last a little longer, depending on what's on her heart that morning to share with us. But it is such a great way to start your morning. I look so forward to it on Mondays through Fridays. A lot of times I'm driving to work. A lot of times, sometimes I'm sitting out and I'm looking at the beauty of the whatever, but it's always the right thing. I don't know how she does it, but whatever she says always seems to be something on our minds. So, love for all of you to join us on that call. You don't have to talk, you don't have to say anything, you just listen. So, if you need that number, it's probably right above my head. So, call in 8 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday. I promise you, it will make a joyful part of your heart. The other thing I'm joyful for, I'm going out, is that beautiful new. I don't know what to say.
Indeed. All right, Maddie, come on up with beautiful Marlo and Ambrose. So right now, I would tell you that there could be a line of pastors ready to get in a fist fight with me over this scene right here. To have a young couple and their children. And like James said himself, do you know he grew up in this church? In the Baptist church that this was. He said, a year ago, if you had asked me to be the service leader, I wasn't even here. But look in the time what this congregation did. This is the seed of our now and of our future. And so, did you write me? Is there some script? Am I supposed to be saying something? Okay. See, let me check with my boss about what's going on.
It's all about you, honey.
All right, baby. So I could not be more thrilled. I am so excited that the two of you decided to become a part of this family. And I welcome you on behalf of this loving, gracious Let's put our hands together. So you have your official certificate of membership. I will read Maddie's. This certificate is joyfully awarded to Maddie Kerr. This certificate is given to Maddie in recognition of her membership at Unity of Bloomington, November 2024. It is officially signed by me and our board president, Joni Spain. And then I'm going to keep these wrapped, but It is the tradition here, so red roses. And then, of course, we have yellow roses for the kids. Oh. Is there a song we sing? Okay, here we go. We love you. Hands forward, let's stand up. We bless you. We truly, truly appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you. Thank you. All right, James, get back to work.
You want to stand with me? Please join me for our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right, now join us in creating a circle, holding hands, and singing Peace on Earth.